It is written in Isis Unveiled, but maybe not warned enough of it. It describes the mystics, 1643, for instance, a monk, Athanasius Kircher, who knew about universal magnetism. And Isis Unveiled presents that. Blavatsky presents that. And presents evidence for the fact that there are extra-physical, paraphysical worlds. And in quoting many pages this man Kircher, that I see here before me, who interestingly enough says that each human feeling has also to do with different states of our magnetism. So, hate, anger, jealousy, friendship, love, hate, and so forth are expressions, modified forms of our magnetic state of being. Now, these are very different. For instance, Blavatsky writes about love. Now, the spiritual platonic form of love, for instance, that a mother has for her child, or that an artist has in his art, for his music and so forth, or love as expression of true friendship. Now, these are magnetic expressions of forms to express of sympathy among people who have about the same vibration. Now, if you have different magnetic radiation, you may, of course, attract also lower life forms or lower energies. That includes, for most people, the importance of food, of nutrition. If you have low vibrant, low magnetic food, you will be in such depressed, etc. states of being. And so, of course, sexual desire, let's come back to the requirement to attain the siddhis in order to help others, in order to have access to those extraterrestrial planes. You would have to have moral purity. But if you're filled only with sexual desire, only leading to that, only having, for instance, sexual relation with a person without spiritual bonds, without spiritual union, you drag yourself deeper and deeper into the mud. Your magnetism becomes lower and lower and lower, and you create big problems for yourself. In Isis Unveiled, Blavatsky writes about two kinds of magnetic power: sympathy and irritation. The first one is holy, is natural. The latter is evil and unnatural. You see, the sorcery powers in this world, they try to irritate you. They try to cause irritation in you, and thus awakening your lower magnetism. Irritation per se, be it for the eye, the ear, the nose, the mouth, and so forth, for our sense organs, is sort of a dark power. But sympathy is something else. See, sympathy is when you have already reached a level of awareness, a spiritual. What then happens is you feel the pain of the other person, of everything. The higher you evolve, the more You feel the pain. The more you feel the passion, suffering, you become compassionate. And I have sometimes attacks of such sympathy, where I see a fly that is crawling on the floor. I don't know why. So maybe I trampled on it. I don't know, unintentionally or so. And I see how this being wants to live, how it suffers, and I feel the pain of the fly. Sounds strange, but it is like that. Of course, since I'm not the guru, I'm also sometimes irritated. I'm subject and victim to irritation. And I try to balance that. You should do that too. See, when you study the teaching, study the Book of Light, and Blavatsky, and Secret Doctrine, and so on, over and over again, you augment your spirit powers, and you become sympathetic. May have backlashes of irritation. This is normal. Especially people who are in a very irritated state, and for the first time decide to become sympathetic. The old state of irritation may want to stop that effort immediately. This is the dweller of the threshold. We talk about that too. The old properties, the old way, the usual way of behaving, of thinking, of feeling, and so forth, of being irritated, doesn't want to give up so fast. This can last back, or can reach back until childhood, where you have been told you can't do that. You cannot do that. So some people then become overachievers. They achieve great things. Yet in them is still this blockage. And so, sometimes they destroy what they did because it says subconsciously, you can't. From all that, you were liberated by soul breath meditation and the teaching. It's up to you then to make that decision. And Blavatsky quotes very rightly so, Paracelsus. I read here from the German version, 3 spirits live and move human being. 3 worlds overflow him with rays. You see, there is already a problem in the statement, because she says 3 spirits. Later, in Secret Doctrine, she says 7 layers of man, 7 spirits, so to speak. So, Secret Doctrine was necessary in order to justify and to correct Isis Unveiled, but there is an additional correction that we do here. She names as those 3 spirits in human and in the world. The first spirit of the elements, which is the body and prana, life power, in its raw state of being. The second is the spirit of the stars, sidereal, astral body. That's what she writes. Spirit of the stars, astral body. There could be huge misunderstandings already there. The third spirit, she says, is the Augoides, the divine spirit. Now, our body is made of earth material, or of, as the Book of Light teaches, condensed ether. And Paracelsus says it all, says primeval earth matter, so to speak. without the knowledge that prior to the physical evolution on Earth, there was an etheric, very fragile, sensitive, transparent evolution. Of course, all this, what Blavatsky says here, could be subject to doubting and to criticism. And Blavatsky says, now this is important too, dear friends. You are dust, and to dust you will be, was not meant for the soul. But what is a soul? It was not clearly indicated in Isis Unveiled. And unless you know that the monad is surrounded by 7 layers, you may confuse each of those layers with a soul. It was not quite made clearly what a soul is. It would have been good if Blavatsky then already would have said, whatever you are aware of as being transient, arising and passing away, that is not you, the true soul. This would be okay. She could have also said that would be you, the true monad. That is you, the true being. When somebody asks, who am I? It's already the wrong question. Who am I not? That's the right question. And not every question deserves an answer. And such a high task, excuse me, as Blavatsky had here in revealing the first time this ancient knowledge, of course it was almost pre-programmed that it would be attacked, because those people did not have basic knowledge of things that I speak here about, and that should have been added in Isis Unveiled. She writes very clearly that a human being is a microcosmos, a tiny, you could say a small cosmos, inside of a huge cosmos. Of course, the Book of Light teaches there is no such space that is to be filled. It's very important. Because if space would be a container, you could ask what is beyond that container. And you would be thrown back, like most of mankind, to the question, where did we come from? The final riddle can only be in silence. It is beyond the world of appearances. Can be experienced in meditation, when you detach from everything that is arising and passing away. It is up to you now to decide. Is my soul arising and passing away? Well, it depends what you mean by that. The being itself was never born, so it can never die. That which is born, this is not you. You just cling to it. You brought it forward. You caused it, yes. But it is not you. And Blavatsky continues to write correctly, but it could be misunderstood without a certain knowledge that should have been also be taught in Isis Unveiled. She did it then in Secret Doctrine, of course. Now, everything has a connection. This is correct what she writes. The physical body is in a constant sympathy connection to earth. But the astral soul, she writes, has more to do with the stars and their aura. Correct.